Good evening, world. Stay strong in Jesus. So tonight I'm sitting here and I'm just gonna do a video. It's day 33, and I got thinking back to one of my brothers that never went to war and died way younger than he should have, and he saved my life just because he was that guy. So his name is Steven Straczewski, and we all just call him Ski. And I think he even had his name tag on his uniform. It just said Ski, S-K-I. And he was the first person that I ever met in the military that swam for his PRT, physical readiness test. And he always drank coffee out of one of those big gallon bottles of Gatorade, and he'd fill it up every morning at the galley. And I was stationed with him when I was down in Cuba. I think my first tour down, my second tour down there, and man, he loved to work hard, and he was very grumpy in the morning, but he never was a big speaker, you know. He had this big bushy mustache, and every time he opened a pack of cigarettes, he would clean it off, the tobacco from packing it, with his mustache. And he always peeled the foil out, the front piece and the back piece, and then he would take the plastic outer and he would wrap it up. And to this day, when I open a pack of cigarettes, I open it the same way. And he's in one of my videos, one of my posts on my channel, on my page, and it's just me and him standing by the ocean. And the beaches down in Cuba weren't the sandy beaches you really think, and it's mostly like broken coral and stuff. And anyways, and it's just me and him standing there, you know, young, so strong. And I remember him being so strong and so quiet, and he always just worked hard and did what he could. And his woman was pregnant back home, and they weren't married, and he was gonna have a daughter, and I think he did before we got home. And that man kept me alive over there. You know, I was going through a really rough time in my life. Wife number 2 had really messed me up, because I always thought love was gonna be enough, or what I thought love was. And I remember it was a year later after that deployment, and he had gotten out. He was a 3rd class when he got out, and I was just a non-rate. And I remember getting in trouble that deployment quite a bit, and drinking heavily. Not that it was any different any other deployment after that until the war. And just before quarters one morning, his cousin, who was also in the same command with me, shout out to NMCB4, only battalion I ever served in, and I did 2 tours with them, both 5 years, more than 5 years. I extended for a year on both of them. Anyways, I spent a lot of time in 4, and I did a lot of deployments with them. Half to all around the world and half to somewhere in Iraq. And he came up to me and he said, Ski was killed last night. And he was driving to go see his grandmother, who he still took care of. And a drunk driver swerved over in his lane and, from what I heard, killed him instantly. And I remember being broken and not wanting to go to quarters, and I remember talking to my squad leader at the time, and he knew who Ski was, and he said, I don't care. That's not what we got to do right now. And I never stood quarters that morning. I ended up getting in a little bit of trouble, but I talked to my chief. It was fine. Anyways, he had a song that he loved, The Last Dance by Garth Brooks. And I remember the next time I was down in Cuba, and I had a lot of problems down there then too. And at the CB ball, we played that song probably 50 times and drank a beer to Ski every time. And he never got to meet his daughter. And he never got to meet my kids. And he never went to war. But he was willing to give his life for this country and for me. And he's more of a man than I could have ever been, especially then. And I wanted to say, these are the men who served that you'll never hear about. Are no Navy SEAL or Green Beret or Dev Group or any of those guys. There's so many of them that I know that you'll never hear about. There's so many. Does that make their life any less important? Does that make them any less heroes? I guess it depends on who you're asking. Jesus loves us all, people. And war sucks. And I don't know his plan for you, but I do know that there's so much we have to give thanks to him for. And there isn't one thing in this world that I can say that I'm really good at. Except for working hard for those that are around me and sacrificing when others aren't, or when others can't anymore. Stay strong, world. There are so many out there, including my father, who I have little knowledge of anything that he did in Vietnam, or my grandfather, who served as a CB also in World War II, who died way too young. But I know they're with God. This Jesus is powerful to those who know they need it. Have a good evening, world. 7 days left. I don't know how else to tell you this. It doesn't seem like it's long enough. Find your own way to give. Something more than you know you can. Stay strong, world. For Jesus loves us all. And he only wants heaven with you. But you have to be willing to change. Have a good night. I pray for one more night for all who are lost. Stay strong.